Burkettville, Indiana, 1 year ago. It's dark, it's raining, all the street lights are on. The camera pans to the general store, and you see a group of people coming out. One saying, "Take some apple pie, it's on the house." "Oh, thanks." They're saying that they would get stranded more often. The camera pans this way. "What's your secret?" Nobody answers. About the lovely town with the great apple pie. And as it backs up, a guy walks right here. Just filled a car up with gas. He says, shakes the man's hand. A girl says, "Nice tattoo." And you know right then that this tattoo is going to be significant. But he gets the couple on their way to wherever they're headed out of town, only they wouldn't make it because something in the orchard would get them. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 11, Scarecrow, Supernatural. So Sam is not wanting to go with Dean. Sam wants to go to California to help his dad. So he pulls a car right across these tracks. It's dark, it's foggy. He's like, "I'm leaving." Dean's like, "I'll leave you here." He's like, "That's what I want you to do." He gets the stuff out the back, and the brothers part ways. Dean keeps going in this direction, but as the camera's turning, even though it's a tight shot, we can get faint glimpses of these power lines, this light, and as it turns over Sam's shoulder for him to say, "That's what I want you to do," we see this box, and then back in the distance, really pulled in, we can make out just the top of this barn or this house or whatever this is right here. And all these bushes on the side wouldn't be as high as they are today. And thus, the brothers part ways. Sam heads off in this direction for California. Dean and Baby head off in this direction to follow up on the leads that his dad wanted.
In the episode, the town of Burkettville appears like it's pretty much in the middle of nowhere. Like these people are pulling over, their cars are getting broke down, and they have to rely on the town people to fix it so they can continue their cross-country journey. But in essence, Burkettville is in the middle of a city. In fact, Burkettville is in Burkettville Village Museum. Now, I'm assuming I'm saying that correctly, but I might be mispronouncing it. And look, just beyond that wall, in a busy road. And over here to my right, well, just beyond all that, that's where Dean Winchester would have went to confront the townspeople.
Sam and Dean have parted ways, and Dean has now made it to Burkettville, Indiana. And our first shot is of this church with somebody riding a bicycle by in front of it. And as the camera pans, we see Dean and Baby headed right up this road here. You can see this building in the background. Now this patio here is not there because all of this has been added to Scotty's Cafe. This would be Scotty's Cafe. Dean right up through here. The camera is going to pan right over Renee's head. And we see Dean park right here. The shot's through this gazebo with Scotty and his smile that'll light up a room sitting right out here under this awning. I guess just listening to the rain. As Dean gets out of his car in front of the gazebo, we see Scotty's Cafe. The camera's going to pan down as Dean's walking towards Scotty. We can see this house and we can see this light pole. Now, as the camera gets closer to Scotty, we see him sitting in front of this middle pane window. But as the Dean gets closer and the camera pans, Scotty has moved to the third pane window, sitting down, and this is where he would remain for the rest of the shot. And Dean's tells him he's John Bonham. Isn't that the drummer for Led Zeppelin? Like, oh, classic rock guy. Like, Scotty, I'm looking for my friends. Shows him pictures like I've never seen them. But we get this shot, and you get a few from this angle when it's cutting back and forth from Scotty to Dean. And it's here, outside in the rain, with Scotty in the chair, that we find out that Scotty has a smile that just lights up a room.
Scotty, you got a smile that lights up a room. Anybody ever tell you that?
After we see Meg leave Dean on the side of the road, the camera actually pans in and we see the gas station here, and as it pans towards the general store, this is where Dean is inside asking the aunt and the uncle and the girl if they've seen the missing couple. And it would actually pan in right about here before actually cutting to inside the general store. So the camera is going to come into the general store, and we see the aunt behind this counter. You can see this ladder in the background, and she's standing about right here. Dean's asking if they stop for gas. They're like, no. And from this angle, we see the niece coming down the steps saying, did he have a tattoo? Like, yes, he did. And she would actually put the stuff she's carrying on this counter here where her aunt's at. She's like, remember they stopped in here? They were just married. And as the camera cuts back to Dean, who's standing here, you can see this window in the background. The uncle would have been right about here. And they talk, and he's like, can you point me in that direction of town? After he tells him that they were only here for 10 minutes, he's like, yeah, I'll show you which way they went. And then it cuts out to the orchard. And this is the inside of the general store. Still looks the exact same. And the background behind the aunt, when it shows her briefly, you can see these pots. And you can see this stuff on the wall. Dean has been pointed in the direction of the couple that he's been asking about from the aunt and uncle. And he finds his way outside of town to the orchard. And this orchard is private property, so we're not going to be able to get on it and walk around. But we'll be able to show you it from the road. The orchard itself was also wiped out by a blight. So this new growth that you're going to see is what has come from that blight and regrown itself. So here's your orchard, and somewhere out here is where the Scarecrow, the demigod, would be waiting. And it's out here that Dean would see the tattoo that belongs to the guy that he's looking for, the couple that's been missing for a year. It's also here where Dean would get taken and tied up. But he's got a plan. He's got a plan. But that plan involves nothing. But luckily, Sam's there to save the day. And if you look right up here, you'll see the roof of a house, which is the house that you can see through the orchard when they're out there tied up and running around. This is where the first tree, the first apple tree, would be. The tree that holds the demigod's power. When Dean comes back from the orchard, you actually see him drive up right here and pull in front of the gas station. The camera is going to pan around. You see this old gas pump here, but they put in a newer style pump right here where Renee is standing. Now Dean's gonna get out of the car, and it's a quick pan shot this way. And she's like, "Oh, you're back." And he's like, "Yeah, I couldn't stay away." But you can see this post, this building, and this little one down here, real briefly as the camera is looking at Dean. When it cuts back to her pumping gas, we see a red truck sitting right in here. This railing wouldn't be there with this hood up. And the camera's going to pan around. She brings the gas nozzle out, starts pumping Dean's gas, and right over the thing you can see Wagner bumper made here. The sign's still there. This door would have been closed, and you can see the window, so you get a partial shot, camera not as wide as ours, of this right here with baby sitting right here getting some fresh gas.
Even though this little village is set mainly for the Scarecrow episode, there were, in fact, multiple episodes done here. Now, you might not have realized because they weren't as prominent that they were like little shots that an employee told us were not credited for those scenes. But after that initial episode, the cast and crew developed a relationship with them here that they knew they could shut off things for them and they could have easy access to this village to be able to come back and do certain little shots. And also, another fun fact is the little photo album from the original 1990 It is shot here also.
This is the inside of Scotty's Diner. Now, everything's been remodeled since then, but this door is still the same. It would have just had a curtain over it. Dean would have sat right about there with the married couple here that's being fed their last meal. But if you look right here, and this round part right there, this is where the two lights would have actually hung. Like I said, there would have been Scotty's Diner or Scotty's Cafe right here. But all this has been redecorated.
You can still see like the little pieces up there, how the wood strips are so close together.
Yeah.
At the top, you can see that behind you.
True, and you can also see this beam and this wall, because this would have been just a little one-door area here. So a lot's changed. Scotty's Cafe's gotten an upgrade since 2004, 2005, when it would have been filmed. Dean's been asking too many questions, poking his nose into the locals' business, and he's got to get gone. Now, right here is where we would see Dean driving baby with the sheriff escorting him out of town. You can see this bridge in the background, and as he passed, right about here where I'm standing, you would see the Burkettville sign, and the cop would actually turn around just before it and head back to town. Now, in the shot, there's no 4.7 meter sign showing the height of the bridge. But what we can see, now this over here is all grown up. But in the shot, we can see this power pole that's on the other side. Just wish it wasn't as grown up. And it's a little straight stretch of the road now, just past car up there. The road does kind of go down, but this is your shot of Dean getting escorted out of town. But we know he doesn't leave altogether, because since they're running him out of town, he's going to go meet with a professor at a local community college just to try to find out what demigod he's up against and how he can kill it. So you would say that we're pretty big fans of Supernatural, right? I've seen all the seasons. You've seen majority of the seasons, right?
Yeah, and I will say, out of all the conventions and all the celebrities we've met, meeting Jensen and Jared, just my mind basically, like, I blanked out. And I informed him because it was my birthday, and I was like, I want to go to the Supernatural convention. And I think we got the gold passes, so we were, walking around like Wayne's World, like showing our passes. And
Go passes, go passes.
I bought a sandwich picture where I was between the two of them, and I told him, I'm like, you are not allowed in that picture. And when you get a picture like that, they only let the person that's going to be in the photograph in the room. Everybody else has got to stand like away, like outside the room. And he was even trying to like look in the room, and security was like,
yeah, I got denied like real hard.
Yeah.
And they put you in an area to where you can't, even if you're at the door trying to look in, you still can't see what's going on.
Right. And so, like, I was so nervous, and I walked up and I asked them, could they take a picture in a certain way? And they agreed. Now, I will say, like, when I originally, like, watched the show, like, Jensen was, like, my favorite. Like, I'm a Dean fan. He's, smoking hot. But after I went to the convention, like, really, Jared, and I'll straight up tell you, if you're ever questionable about whether they're as beautiful in person as they are on TV, yes, more so. But Jared is so polite and welcoming, because when I went up and I asked that about the picture, like, he was the one that was like, yeah, of course we can do that. And Jared was just like, he's probably a little shy or whatever.
He's all into it.
But Jared was the one that made me feel more comfortable, even though I did black out during the picture. I didn't remember what I was doing. I could have been doing like something like that. I don't know. But the picture ended up turning out pretty good. But yeah, I blacked out during that moment when their arms touched me.
So the biggest thing to take away from this is, if you ever go to a Supernatural convention and you get the Sam and Dean sandwich shot, make sure you don't black out. That's the main thing to take away from this.
Remember it.
Yeah, don't black out. Like, try to keep some kind of composure.
Yeah. I mean, I have the picture to remember that moment by, but I literally can't remember. Like, I remember being in line, and I remember leaving the room and telling you, I don't know what I did in that picture. And that's literally been the only celebrities that I've ever done that with.
In this scene, Dean has been ran out of Burkettville, but he's headed to a local community college to have a meeting with a professor to try to find out what demigod is actually inhabiting this town and how to kill it. So this is the building that was used for the community college. It's actually the local art gallery. Now, unfortunately, this building is closed for installation. But we're going to try to get a shot through the window to see if we can at least see the stairs that we see Dean and the professor walking down as he's inquiring about the local demigod. So there's the steps. You can actually see Dean and the professor coming down. And they would actually come down these steps and then make a left in the show to go and get a book and actually find out. And it's there that Dean would find out which demigod and theoretically how to kill it. But what he doesn't realize is that as he's going to walk out the door of the office, yep, the sheriff's going to hit him right in the face with the shotgun. So here's the backside of the art gallery that they would use as the community college and the meeting with the professor. We're here at the end where Sam and Dean's putting Emily on a bus. Her aunt and uncle are dead, killed by the Scarecrow, the demigod, and she's got to leave town. Now this used to be a U-Haul place. This fence would not be up. But in the background, you can see this wall as the bus is backing up. And it's right here. The bus would be parked here. Dean's car, baby, be parked on the other side. And the guys would be standing right about this location here. And the camera, as the bus is pulling away, would pan over to that wall, shooting back this way. And you could actually see the door and stuff on the side. But unfortunately, somebody's put a fence up, even though this place is closed. Right there, you can see this wall and this door just to the side of Sam and Dean as the bus is backing up. And the camera is actually shooting back in this direction towards the road. Sam's like, do you think she'll be okay? Dean's, I sure hope so. And then Sam decides not to leave. He gets back together with his brother. Gotta go track down the demon that killed their mom and killed Jessica. Man, maybe give their dad a little help down the road.